My entire family was invited to my sister's $800,000 wedding, except me. Mom said I'd ruin her moment. I said, I understand. Then my Italian wedding photo went viral. One moment, I was surrounded by beautiful wedding photos, feeling on top of the world. The next, a single phone call from my own mother detonated, not just shattering my coffee cup, but pulverizing every illusion I had about my family and their so-called love. I was actually in my happy place, sprawled out on the floor, literally swimming in glossy photographs from a wedding I'd just shot in Vermont. You know, the kind of pictures that just sing? The bride in her cream gown, golden autumn leaves. I even got this one shot, practically perfect, where the couple's fingers are just barely touching under a maple canopy. It was magic. Then my phone rang. My mother's name flashed across the screen, and I swear, even before I answered, this knot started tightening in my stomach. Just a feeling, you know? I tried to keep it light. Hey, Mom. I tucked the phone between my ear and shoulder, still sifting through prints. But then I heard her voice. That familiar, razor-sharp edge. Courtney. We need to talk to you about Lily's wedding. My sister Lily, getting married in Miami. I was actually smiling, thinking, oh good. I can offer my photography services. I started to say, I was just about to call her. I have these amazing ideas for the photos. That's when she dropped the bomb. You'll ruin your sister's wedding. Don't come. It was like the world just stopped. My coffee cup slipped from my hand, hit the hardwood, and just shattered. Hot coffee splashed everywhere, drenching all those beautiful, perfect photographs. But honestly, I barely even noticed. All I could manage was this tiny, almost distant whisper, what? My mother just kept going, her voice chillingly firm. Lily needs all the attention. Your success would overshadow her day. The room started to spin. I gripped my desk, trying to stay grounded. Mom, I managed. That doesn't even make sense. I'm her only sister. But she wasn't done. All guests have received their invitations, she said, each word a hammer blow. Everyone except you. My stomach lurched. And just like that, I was 7 again, that awful, familiar feeling of abandonment flooding back. It was like a movie reel, being left out of family photos, my artwork taken off the fridge to make space for Lily's stick figures. Sitting alone at the kids' table on Thanksgiving while Lily was perched on Dad's lap, front and center. I was always the other one. I hated the pleading tone in my voice, but I couldn't stop it. Mom, I'm her only sister. I've shot over 180 weddings. I could help her. Think of it as your gift to Lily, she said, her voice softening into something worse than anger, pity. You've always needed to be the center of attention. For once, let your sister have her moment. My throat tightened. Let me talk to Lily. This can't be what she wants. And then, the lie that felt like a truth, she agrees completely. This was partly her idea. Oh God, that hurt more than anything. I hung up without a word and immediately called my dad. Court? Everything okay? He asked. I just blurted it out. Dad, Mom just told me I'm not invited to Lily's wedding. That can't be right. There was this pause. That one agonizing pause that told me everything I needed to know before he even spoke. It's for the best, Court. His voice. It was the same defeated tone he used when he told me I couldn't display my photography trophy, the one I won at 12, because Lily wouldn't feel good. You don't mean that, I whispered, pressing my palm against my forehead. Your absence is a gift to your sister, he said. Be selfless for once. Those words. They just sliced through years of pretending this messed up family dynamic didn't exist. My mind flashed to Ethan, my boyfriend, framing my first magazine cover, opening champagne to celebrate with me. His genuine, unbridled pride was such a stark contrast to my parents' uncomfortable silence when I'd sent them a copy. I looked down at the ruined photographs on my floor, moments I'd captured of strangers looking at each other with more love than my own family had ever shown me. But something shifted. A tiny flicker of fire. I won't beg for an invitation to my own sister's wedding, I said. The words came out stronger than I expected. Then I heard my mother's voice cut in. They must have been on speakerphone. Don't be dramatic. Think about someone besides yourself. That was it. The dam broke. I've spent my entire life thinking about everyone else. My voice was steady, even with an earthquake going off inside me. Hiding my accomplishments. Making myself smaller. All your cousins will be there, my father interjected. Everyone's looking forward to celebrating with Lily. Don't make this difficult. The unspoken message was crystal clear. We've already painted you as the villain. They controlled the narrative. I understand, I said finally. But I didn't. Not really. What I did understand was that this pattern would continue forever unless I broke it. My professional confidence, my personal happiness, they couldn't survive if I kept accepting this treatment. I ended the call just as I heard the front door open. Ethan walked in, camera bag slung over his shoulder, and just stopped dead. He saw me there, surrounded by broken ceramic and coffee-stained dreams. Courtney, what happened? His concern. It was a lifeline. The words just tumbled out between sobs, the uninvitation, my parents' cold justifications, a lifetime of being diminished. Ethan knelt beside me, careful to avoid the broken mug. They've done this your entire life. It's not right. He helped me salvage what he could, blotting coffee from the prints. We worked in silence for a while, and then he said, "Your sister's wedding is about her. But your life is about you." I looked up at him, and it was like I was finally seeing clearly. The choice wasn't about going or staying home. It was about making myself smaller versus finally standing at my full height. I've spent my life making myself smaller, I whispered, a new resolve starting to simmer. Maybe it's time to stand tall. 3 weeks crawled by like molasses. I buried myself in work, editing wedding albums until my eyes blurred. But my phone stayed silent. No calls from my mother. No texts from Lily. The wound of being uninvited just festered under the surface. Until Amanda called. "Court," Amanda's voice crackled through the speaker. "You won't believe what Lily just posted." Amanda's our mutual friend, you know? She's always straddled that uncomfortable divide between me and Lily. "I'm not sure I want to know," I told her, but my curiosity, it was like a sharp prick. Miami Beach. $800,000 budget. White tulip centerpieces flown in from Holland. 8-course dinner with a celebrity chef. My stomach twisted. $800,000? I practically choked. That's nearly double what they planned. Bradley's parents offered to cover most of it, Amanda whispered. "Court, there's something else. I had lunch with Jenny yesterday. She's in the wedding party." My fingers tightened around my mug. "And?" "Bradley told Lily he didn't want you there. Said you make everything about yourself." The coffee scalded my throat. "Bradley? He's never even met me." Jenny overheard Lily telling him stories. Amanda continued. "About how you stole attention at her Sweet 16. About your scholarship ceremony overshadowing her debate team win." None of it was true. My scholarship ceremony lasted 10 minutes before my parents dragged us to Lily's debate competition. We never even got celebratory ice cream. After hanging up, I opened Instagram. My mother's latest post. A photo of Lily and Bradley, champagne flutes raised. The caption, "Sometimes the kindest thing is to step back and let others shine." The hidden message couldn't have been clearer if she'd tagged me. I spent the afternoon digging through old family albums. And with each photograph, patterns emerged that I'd somehow missed for years. In nearly every family portrait, I was slightly behind Lily, positioned off-center. My grandparents' pride in my first photography exhibit? Noticeably dimmed after Mom whispered something in their ears. The time Dad asked me to tone down my excitement when I won state because Lily had a rough week. It wasn't isolated incidents. It was systematic. Ethan found me later, surrounded by the photographic evidence. Without a word, he sat beside me, picking up a picture of me from a family beach vacation. My smile looked strained. "Look at this," he said, pulling up his laptop. He opened a folder labeled Courtney Client Reviews and just started reading. Courtney Palmer didn't just photograph our wedding. She captured the exact moment I realized I would spend my life with this person. She has a gift for seeing people as they truly are. Then another. Every time we look at our album, we relive the day through Courtney's eyes. She made our day magical. Dozens of testimonials. Praising not just my skill, but my ability to capture authentic emotion. A stark contrast to my family's narrative. These people see you, Ethan said simply. Your family can't. I stared at the photograph in my hand, 16-year-old me, holding my first DSLR, careful not to smile too broadly because Lily had just gotten a B on her math test. My whole life, I said, I thought if I just achieved enough, they'd finally be proud. But that was never the deal, was it? The deal was that I would always diminish myself so Lily could feel exceptional. That's their story, Ethan said. Not yours. Past midnight, my phone buzzed. Lily's name. I considered letting it go to voicemail, but some stubborn hope made me answer. Hey, she slurred a little. Are you awake? I am now. I'm at Hannah's bachelorette weekend. Everyone's asleep but me. A pause. I miss you, Court. That familiar ache. Then why aren't I invited to your wedding? She sighed heavily. Mom's afraid you'll charm everyone. You always do. Another pause. Bradley's parents have all these important connections. The wedding has to be perfect. And I'd ruin it just by existing? You don't understand what it's like, Lily whispered. Sometimes it's hard being the favorite. The expectations crush me. I almost laughed at the absurdity. You're worried about expectations? I've spent my entire life trying not to outshine you. That's not true. It is, and deep down you know it. Silence. I should go, she said, and hung up. I sat motionless in the dark living room until Ethan found me an hour later. What if we got away for the weekend? He suggested, pulling me close. The next evening, we met my photographer friends Sophia and Michael for dinner. I hadn't told them about the wedding, but somehow they'd heard. Your family can't see your light, Sophia said fiercely, because they're the ones dimming it. Michael leaned forward. This isn't about winning or losing, Court. It's about reclaiming your narrative. How? I asked. Sophia smiled. By living well. By creating something beautiful. Their words resonated as Ethan and I walked home through the cool Seattle evening. They're right, I said finally. If I keep seeking their approval, I'll never stop making myself smaller. Ethan squeezed my hand. Then stand tall. I looked up at the narrow strip of night sky, feeling something shift inside me. Not just anger or hurt, but fierce determination. For 27 years, I'd lived by their rules, even from a distance, waiting for permission to take up space. To shine. I'm done shrinking, I said. The words settled into my bones like truth. A few days later, Ethan convinced me we needed a full weekend away. We were at Lake Chelan, spreading travel brochures across the coffee table in our cabin. He called me over to the deck, his laptop screen glowing. Remember Giovanni? He asked. The director from the Milan documentary? I nodded, remembering the wild-haired Italian filmmaker who'd taken a shine to Ethan. He rents his family villa for small weddings. The screen showed a stone villa perched on cliffs above impossibly blue water. A terrace overlooking the Amalfi Coast. It's beautiful, I murmured, but my stomach tightened. Ethan and I had been together for years, but marriage? We'd always postponed our happiness to avoid their disapproval. Ethan said it so plainly it jolted me. We've been postponing our happiness to avoid their disapproval. He was right. I'd been arranging my entire life around my family's approval or the desperate hope of someday earning it. Look at these dates, Ethan said, taking my hand. September 15th is available. My photographers, I immediately calculated the angles, the light. That's perfect golden hour timing on the Amalfi Coast. 1 month before Lily's wedding, he added softly. I looked at him sharply. You think we should get married right before my sister? I think we should get married when and where we want to. We could have exactly the wedding we want. Not some production to please your parents or compete with Lily. He was right. Even from across the country, I'd been living by their rules. September 15th, I whispered, my mind already composing shots. Is that a yes? His smile was cautious. Yes, let's do it. I laughed, the sound surprising both of us. For the first time since that devastating phone call, I felt something other than hurt. Something dangerously like power. The next morning, I woke with surprising clarity. I found my phone, walked onto the deck, and called my mother. Courtney, is everything all right? She asked, her concerned tone almost making me laugh. Everything's fine, Mom. Better than fine, actually. Ethan and I are getting married. Silence. Then what? When did this happen? We've been together for years. The timing feels right. We found a perfect spot in Amalfi. Just 25 guests. Very intimate. You can't possibly plan a wedding while Lily is planning hers. The familiar edge was back. Do you have any idea how stressed she is? This will upset her terribly. In the past, those words would have made me backtrack, apologize. Today, they just washed over me. I'm not asking permission, Mom. I'm sharing news. My voice remained steady. Our small ceremony won't affect Lily's wedding at all. This is exactly what I mean about you always needing attention, she snapped. First, you make a fuss about not being invited, and now you're planning your own right before hers? I took a deep breath. This isn't about Lily. This is about the life Ethan and I are building. Richard. I heard her yell to my father. Courtney is trying to upstage Lily's wedding with her own. I closed my eyes. But instead of shame, I felt strangely calm. I need to go, Mom. I just wanted you to hear it from me directly. Courtney. Goodbye, Mom. I ended the call. On my terms. I sat in the morning sun, waiting for the guilt. Instead, I felt only lightness. When I went inside, Ethan was making coffee. How'd it go? Exactly as expected, I said, smiling. She thinks I'm trying to upstage Lily. But I didn't apologize. Didn't back down. Didn't make myself smaller. He handed me a steaming mug. Proud of you. My phone started buzzing with texts from my photographer friends, Jasmine and Taylor. They both wanted to photograph the ceremony. Ethan grinned. I emailed Giovanni. He was thrilled. More messages came throughout the day, my past wedding clients offering connections, suggestions, promises to help. The avalanche of support? It took my breath away. Should we invite them? I asked Ethan later. My family? Risk the drama. He wrapped his arm around me. That's entirely your call. But remember, wedding photographer extraordinaire, what matters most in those moments you capture? Authenticity. Authenticity, I answered without hesitation. Then that's your answer. For the first time, the question of inviting them felt less important than the realization that I was making choices without calculating their effect on my family's approval. If this small act of independence felt this liberating, what might complete freedom feel like? It had been 1 week since we booked Giovanni's villa. The initial euphoria settled into a quiet determination. What's all this? Ethan asked, stepping carefully between my portfolio albums. Research, I said. I've shot 180 weddings, but I've never analyzed what actually makes them meaningful. Our apartment had become a command center. I was filtering every decision through one question. Does this authentically reflect us? Ethan sat beside me. This doesn't feel like you're planning revenge anymore. It's not revenge, I said. This is about creating something genuine. The momentary satisfaction of telling my mother had faded. What mattered now was building something authentic, not just reacting to their exclusion. What if we treated this like a documentary? Ethan suggested. Let's tell our story, not theirs. We started examining my thousands of wedding photos, identifying what truly created authenticity. Not the expensive centerpieces, but the raw emotion when couples thought no one was watching. We need Maria and Alex, I decided, referring to photographer friends whose work I admired. They understand my vision and can document while we experience. Each decision felt like laying another brick in a foundation that had nothing to do with my family and everything to do with our future. My phone rang late that evening. My cousin Amanda. Courtney, she said, no greeting. Lily just called me hysterical. She heard about your Italian wedding from Bradley's cousin who follows your friend Maria on Instagram. My stomach tightened. And your mom is calling everyone in the family. She's telling people you're deliberately sabotaging Lily's special time. I closed my eyes, picturing the network. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all getting crafted messages portraying me as the villain. Did you tell her? I asked Amanda. I said I needed to talk to you first, she softened. Court, are you doing this to get back at them? A week ago, maybe. Now? We're creating something authentic, I told her. Not competing with anyone. Ethan was in the doorway. They're mobilizing the extended family, I said. Does that change anything for us? He asked. I looked around our apartment, at every element chosen to reflect our values. No, I said with certainty. We keep building. 3 days later, Giovanni sent new photos of the villa. Even more perfect. Did you see what Giovanni found? I called to Ethan, a local florist who specializes in jasmine garlands. Ethan smiled. The documentary crew is confirmed too. I finalized the invitations, just 25 people who'd consistently been there for us. Perfect, Ethan said. Elegant without being showy. This is about creating memories that matter, not impressing anyone. My phone buzzed. Lily, the Italian consulate said you filed for a marriage license. Why are you trying to steal my spotlight? My hands trembled. How would she even find that out? I showed Ethan. Your mother must have connections, he said. Or they've been watching closely. What if they try to interfere? I whispered. What if they contact Giovanni? Ethan took my hands. Then we adapt. We've already decided who matters. The people coming are the ones who truly support us. More texts poured in. My cousin Jenna, my college roommate. All questions and accusations. They're contacting everyone, I whispered. Making me sound selfish again. That was always their plan, Ethan said. Do we engage or stay focused on our vision? I looked at our meticulously planned wedding. This wasn't about them. That evening, my phone rang. Giovanni. Courtney, I received a strange call today, he said, his Italian accent thick. A woman claiming to be your mother asked many questions. My heart sank. I'm so sorry, Giovanni. My family situation is complicated. Do not worry, he said firmly. I told her nothing. Your day will be perfect. No uninvited guests will disturb your celebration. Relief washed over me. When Ethan joined me, I leaned back against him. Giovanni got a call from my mother, but he handled it perfectly. Let's just focus on us, Ethan said. What happens in Miami doesn't matter. Standing there, I realized how much I'd changed. 6 months ago, my mother's call would have sent me into a tailspin. Now, I felt centered, prepared. The time for strategic preparation was ending. Next week, Italy. All our careful planning coming to fruition. I could almost smell the jasmine. Whatever storm my family might be brewing, we were ready. A week later, my phone buzzed at dawn. I'd been up for hours, organizing our photography timeline. Ethan slept peacefully. The caller ID, Mom. My stomach tightened. I took my coffee to the balcony. Hello. You need to cancel Italy. Margaret's voice. Different. Sharper. More dangerous. That's not happening. I watched a seagull land on the railing. Listen carefully, Courtney. If you go through with this, you'll never be welcome in this family again. The seagull took flight. I don't understand why my wedding threatens you so much. Don't try to twist this. You know exactly what you're doing. Her voice vibrated with rage. 1 month before Lily's wedding? After everything we've done for you. Then I heard my father's voice. You've always been selfish, Richard said, his disappointment cutting through the morning air. This proves it. I went inside. I'm getting married to the person I love. How is that selfish? Lily's been hospitalized with anxiety attacks because of you, Margaret said. My heart stopped. What? Is she okay? As if you care. Her voice stripped venom. Her doctor says the stress you're causing could affect her long-term health. The lie hung heavy. I'd seen Lily's Instagram stories from her bachelorette party in the Bahamas 3 days ago. Laughing on a yacht. That's not true, I said quietly. I saw her posts from the Bahamas. A pause. She pushed herself to go because she didn't want to disappoint her bridesmaids. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Is it true you're stealing Lily's thunder? Your grandmother may not be around for another wedding, Dad added, his strategic guilt perfectly timed. She's heartbroken you'd choose a foreign ceremony she can't attend. My grandmother, who hadn't left Florida in 15 years. Your cousin Rachel agrees with us, Margaret continued. So do the Petersons. Even Julie thinks you're being cruel. Julie. My childhood best friend who moved to Australia 5 years ago and hadn't spoken to my mother since. You're lying, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. Julie hasn't spoken to you in years. Another call beeped through, Uncle Frank. A text from my mother's neighbor, Susan. The coordinated assault was almost impressive. Cancel Italy, Margaret said again, or accept that you're no longer part of this family. My throat tightened. Is that what Lily wants too? This is coming from all of us. You've pushed your sister to her breaking point. I walked to the wall where our wedding plans were pinned. I'll think about what you've said, I told them, needing the call to end. I sat at our kitchen counter, hands trembling despite my calm words. Ethan emerged from the bedroom. Your parents. I nodded. They've escalated. Complete family excommunication if we don't cancel. That's a new low, he said. I think we should call Adam about security, I said. Just in case. Already ahead of you, Ethan said. He knows a local guy in Amalfi. What? I heard your mom on the phone with Aunt Carol last week. I knew this was coming. This is about us, Court. Not them. That night, Lily called. Did Mom call you? Her voice was strained. Yes. A long pause. I didn't ask her to. Is it beautiful? She asked finally. The place in Italy? Yes. It overlooks the Mediterranean. The light at sunset is perfect. She made a small sound, almost longing. 25 guests? Just people who matter to us. Another pause. Part of me wishes I was having your wedding instead of mine. The admission hung in the air. 230 people I barely know. Most of them Bradley's family connections. For the first time, I felt sorry for her. It's not too late to change things, I offered. You know I can't. Mom would never forgive me. Mom's forgiveness seems pretty conditional these days. Lily laughed, without humor. Always has been. I should go, she said. Bradley's waiting. Lily. Just take good pictures, okay? The line went dead. The next morning, Ethan and I stood in the airport terminal. Our flight to Naples boarded in 20 minutes. Last chance to back out, Ethan said, his eyes telling me he knew I wouldn't. I looked at my boarding passes, then at the photo of Giovanni's villa on my phone. No turning back, I said, slipping my hand into his. As the plane taxied, I reviewed our vows, words that honored our chosen family, the life we were building, not the one I was leaving behind. Ethan kissed my temple. This is about us, not them. The plane accelerated, lifting into the air. Seattle grew smaller. Ahead lay Italy. I closed my eyes, finally allowing myself to feel excitement. In 3 days, I'd marry Ethan in the golden Mediterranean light, surrounded by people who truly saw me. No turning back, I whispered again, this time with certainty. On our wedding day, I stood on Giovanni's terrace, breathing in the jasmine scent. The September sun hung low over the Amalfi coast, bathing everything in that perfect golden light. Is it everything you hoped for? Ethan asked, his arm around me. Better, I whispered. The Mediterranean spread before us, a canvas of deep blue. Our 25 guests mingled. Giovanni approached, his face beaming. The light is perfetto today, he said. Your photographer friends are setting up now. They say the conditions are ideal. My vision was finally shaping my wedding. James and Vanessa, my collaborators, positioned themselves. Not competing, but complementing, capturing different angles of the same authentic moment. Marcus, the documentary filmmaker, adjusted his rig. No staged moments. Just truth. I retreated to the master bedroom, slipping on my simple silk dress. Not a princess gown like Lily's, but exactly what I would have chosen for my most important client. When I emerged, my guests rose. Their faces? Friends, clients, colleagues who reflected back the person I am, not the diminished version my family insisted upon. The guitarist played Northern Sky. Not the wedding march, but our song. I walked toward Ethan alone. I belonged to myself first. He watched me approach, his expression open with wonder. Not polite admiration, but the genuine recognition of someone seeing their partner choosing joy. The officiant began as the sun descended. Marriage isn't just the joining of two people, she said, but the creation of a new story. Ethan's voice was steady. I promise to see you, not just look at you. To celebrate your success. To build a home where your light is never dimmed. My hands trembled as I unfolded my paper. I promise to stand tall beside you. To create beauty without apology. To remember that love doesn't require permission. As we exchanged rings, the Mediterranean turned to liquid gold. James and Vanessa moved with practiced precision, capturing every angle. When we were pronounced married, applause erupted. Not polite golf claps, but genuine celebration from people who wanted us to succeed. During dinner, our documentary team captured authentic laughter, spontaneous embraces. Giovanni rose for a toast. I have seen many American movies about weddings, he chuckled. Always there is drama. But true love requires courage to claim your own story. I glanced at Ethan. My own story. Not a supporting character. The evening unfolded exactly as I envisioned. No forced traditions, no performative cake cutting. Just pure, unadulterated joy. I got something earlier I think you should see, James said, showing me his camera display. A shot from the ceremony. Ethan and I in profile, hands joined, the Mediterranean spread behind us in a wash of gold and blue. The jasmine vines framed us perfectly. The light created a natural halo effect. It was exactly what I would have composed for my highest-paying client. Do you mind if I post this one? James asked. It's special. I just nodded, speechless. Vanessa appeared. That's going to break the internet, she predicted. It's just a wedding photo, I said automatically, the habit of minimizing still strong. No, she corrected gently. It's art. Later, my phone started buzzing. James's single image had exploded online. 800 comments already, Ethan murmured, scrolling. Listen to this one, most beautiful ceremony I've ever seen. From Helena Baxter. Helena Baxter? I gasped. The Helena Baxter, whose book inspired me. Ethan nodded. The Italian Tourism Board just reshared it with Wedding of the Year caption. The notifications kept coming. Industry professionals. Magazines. And most significantly, comments from people moved by the authentic joy. This is what they were afraid of, Ethan said quietly. Not that you'd ruin Lily's wedding, but that you'd prove them wrong. I leaned against him. For years, I'd captured other people's happiest moments. Today, I created my own. Marcus approached. You've created something extraordinary, Court, he said. Giovanni joined us. Your vision has honored this place. Many Americans come to take from Italy's beauty. You have added to it. James returned. Your photo just hit 1 million views. InStyle magazine commented. I checked my phone. Texts from extended family members, cousins, aunts. Words of admiration and, perhaps, regret. But their validation no longer mattered. The success of this day wasn't measured in views. It was measured in the authentic joy in our chosen family. It was measured in the fact that for the first time, I didn't make myself smaller. Ethan and I slipped away to Giovanni's garden. How does it feel? He asked softly. It feels like stepping into the best photograph I've ever taken, I replied. And realizing I'm finally exactly where I belong. 6 months later, sunlight streamed through our bedroom window. That familiar tightness in my chest when I thought about my family? Gone. My phone buzzed. 3 major wedding magazines wanted feature stories on what industry blogs were calling the Amalfi Revolution. A smile formed as I remembered that image going viral, sunset bathing Ethan and me in amber light. Ethan mumbled, still can't believe it. He reached for my hand. Which part? I asked. All of it. He gestured to my laptop where a Netflix contract sat open. Documentary about redefining wedding photography. That's you, Court. The proposal arrived yesterday. They wanted to follow me through a year of weddings, documenting how I capture authentic moments. The director called it revolutionary storytelling through still images. My phone buzzed again. Lily. Yours looked more like you than mine looked like me, her latest text read. I set it down. She'd sent similar texts since the photos went viral. A small acknowledgement that authenticity matters more than perfection. The transformation in my life felt surreal. I slept without the weight of seeking approval. I made decisions without second-guessing. When I reviewed client galleries, I trusted my eye completely. We should call Giovanni, Ethan said, getting up. The foundation paperwork should be almost ready. The Love Without Permission Foundation, our newest venture, supporting artists facing family disapproval. Giovanni, our host, was now our partner. I have the family I've chosen, I said, the words settling into truth. Later, in my studio, my waitlist stretched 6 months out, filled exclusively with couples who valued my documentary approach. No more saying yes to every job. No more hiding my vision. On my wall hung family photographs I once hid. They told a story of becoming, not loss. The contrast with that day 7 months ago, shattered coffee cup, ruined prints, was profound. Today, I sat surrounded by international awards and images that spoke my truth. My assistant brought in Jessica Thomas, a young photographer from Portland. Talented but uncertain, her eyes hungry for validation. My parents think photography is a hobby, she explained, after showing me brilliant, evocative images. They want me to finish my accounting degree. 5 years ago, I would have offered sympathy. Today, I recognize the moment for what it was, a chance to break a cycle. Your vision matters, I told her, meeting her eyes directly. Don't diminish it for anyone. I told her about our mentorship program. Your light doesn't diminish anyone else's, I said, words I wish someone had told me years earlier. Jessica left with tears in her eyes and a spot in our workshop. Ethan walked in, camera in hand. Documenting another transformation? I asked. The foundation wants footage for the website launch. 3 photographers have already secured exhibitions through our grants, I said. My mother once told me to make myself smaller. Instead, I created something true to my vision that helped others stand taller. That evening, accepting the International Vision Award for wedding photography, the applause washed over me. The frames we choose define the story we tell, I began, my voice steady and strong. For years, I allowed others to frame my story through their limitations. I accepted being cropped out, pushed to the background, my colors muted. Authenticity isn't selfish, I continued. It's the greatest gift you can give. To yourself and to others seeking permission to shine. As I held the award, I thought about that broken coffee cup on my floor, the ruined photographs, the moment when everything changed. The truth crystallized in my mind with perfect clarity. When people try to make you smaller, that's when you need to stand tallest.